Hi guys, and welcome back to another video where today we're going to be predicting the scores of week 29 of this, the 2019-2020 Premier League season. Now before we get on to predicting week 29, let's have a look back at the disaster,
well for you that is,
that was week 28.
Okay, so for week 28 I had a fairly good week even with the amount of shocks there were. I had 6 points with one perfect result, and that being Man United and Everton to have a nice draw, even though it should have been an Everton win and I didn't really want those 3 points for it.
And I came away with a big fat 0. Yeah, that's it.
How?
The first time in, 3 seasons of doing this,
Yeah.
I blanked a game week. And
I've never blanked a game week either, that goes to show.
Representing the viewers last week was RG Bags, and RG Bags came away with 2 points, so 2 more than me anyway. Top scorer of the week, which, along with you Nathan, with 6 points were, and there was 4 of them, Liverpool will win the Premier League this season, David Ojewemi, who I think he's been top scorer before, Matt CCFC Games, and Anthony Harris. So Liverpool, David, Matt and Anthony, congratulations on last week's score. But overall now, Nathan, for the season, you are on 196 points, closing the gap now on myself, who was on 199 points, and the viewers are on 178 points. But enough of last week. I don't want to know anything about last week. And like Liverpool,
only because you were so bad.
Yeah, and like Liverpool as well. I was as bad as Liverpool were in that game against Watford.
Shocking.
But yeah, let's move on and make some predictions for week 29.
Okay, so first up we're starting with Liverpool. They're playing Bournemouth this time around now.
Saturday lunchtime,
what has
half
happened
12.
to Liverpool? Honestly. Yep, Saturday as you said. What has happened to them? Lose to Atleti, lost again last night to Chelsea 2-0, got ripped apart, and then 3-0 to Watford. And I gotta be honest, I've never seen an individual performance as bad as Dejan Lovren in my life. He sort of cost them the whole game.
I've seen players play a lot worse than that.
He was awful. It's like, whenever Liverpool lose, it tends to be because of one player having an absolute disaster of a game. Like you had Loris Karius in the Champions League final, and then you had Dejan Lovren, who he was awful. Just wouldn't put a tackle in. Just everyone was getting through him. He's basically the opposite of Van Dijk. I mean, he's as useful as this gate. He's hopeless. I've never seen a defender so bad in his life.
Your prediction for this week?
Right, prediction for this week. Bournemouth, last time round, good draw Chelsea. Chelsea had a good comeback, to be fair. Bournemouth starting to improve now since half their squad have come back from injuries, pretty much. Wilson and King back on fire as usual.
Yeah, but Wilson's out this week.
Shane Wilson's back out again this week. But Liverpool, Klopp is just going to want them to score again, and they're just going to demolish Bournemouth 4-0.
Yeah. Bournemouth, I think, since the 14th of December have only scored 2 goals away from home. Not looking good on the road at all this season in the league. Liverpool really need to bounce back. They are at home. They seem to, absolutely phenomenal at home.
Oh, yeah.
They have been phenomenal all season, apart from the last couple of weeks, of course. But I can't see them having any trouble really against Bournemouth. I think they're going to win this one. I'm going to go for a 3-0 victory. We know that Henderson's out there in the middle of midfield, but I think they'll have more than enough to beat Bournemouth in this one comprehensively. Next up, we've got the first of the 3 o'clock kickoffs on Saturday, and that's between Arsenal against West Ham. West Ham having a little bit of a resurgence at the moment. They find themselves outside the relegation zone.
They looked fantastic
in
last
16th
week.
Position. They did have a very good win against Southampton
last
time out. Yes, he is deceptively quick, I've been told as well. But Arsenal not lost in the league this calendar year, since we are only just into March, of course. But I think the Gunners are going to come away with a victory in this All-London derby, and I can see them scoring 3 goals. But West Ham, with the quality they got in their ranks, I can see them getting a goal. So I'm going to go for an Arsenal victory 3-1.
I actually disagree with you. I think West Ham are going to build on the momentum from the game last week. It really did look fantastic, I thought, watching some of the highlights. Joe Bowen scored a good goal. Really controlled that match. Hilaire got on the score sheet as well. And I just have a feeling that Arsenal are going to slip up again. It's just an Arsenal thing to do, even though Arsenal have been picking up their form recently. So 1-1. Next up we have Palace Watford. Palace getting a good win in the N23 derby last week, played really well. Zaha, how did you miss?
I know,
it's
crazy.
just ridiculous. But and Watford, of course, Troy Deeney on fire, played really well back as well. Only problem is Deulofeu's going to be out for a while now.
ACL, isn't it?
ACL injury. Saw it when he came off Van Dijk. Knew instantly his ACL went down. Just it was grim tackle. Well, wasn't even a tackle, just bounced off him. Knee swung around, gone. That's your career out for 12 months. Hard to predict this one because Palace can turn up, Watford could turn up on their day. I'm going for a draw, 1-1.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to agree on this one. I can't really see a victor in this fixture. Palace playing well last week. Watford played phenomenal, but after that amazing victory, a lot of clubs, they seem to, don't carry on that sort of momentum. And I think Watford is going to feel a little bit tough there at Selhurst Park, and I'm going to go for a 1-1 scoreline. Next up, we've got Sheffield United at home against Norwich. Now, Norwich defensively now seem to be shoring up there
slowly.
However, Norwich have only had one away victory all season, so looks like from my point of view, they could be going for a draw. However, Sheffield United, I think, are going to be too strong for them at Bramall Lane, and I think they're just going to sneak this one 1-0.
Interesting. No, I think it's going to be more comfortable than that. I think Sheffield United will be there and thereabouts. They're going to want to make a statement against Norwich, really push now, because they've dropped down to 8th. Even though they have had a good run of form lately, they need to push on for those maybe Champions League spots if they can get into 5th and around where Man United are. Or, well, really you could say they're guaranteed Europa League, but they just need to make that final push now. So 2-0, and that's a good game to make it against Norwich anyway. But moving on, next we've got Southampton versus Newcastle. Now Newcastle got a good win against West Brom in the Cup last night. Newcastle never win in the Cup, so it's quite a surprise for that. Almiron playing really well.
I think it's something like, is it 10 years or something since they got past the third round? Something ridiculous like that.
Something ridiculous. Speaking to a Newcastle fan, over the moon with it today. Coming up against Southampton team, who's sort of really inconsistent at the moment. 2 wins in the last 6 matches and 4 losses, so really need to improve on there. But Newcastle will be Newcastle as they always are. They're going to draw again. So it's going to be 1-1, and then Newcastle wouldn't have won in 6 matches. So there you are.
Yeah, well, I think last night Newcastle scored for the first time in 4 matches in the league. They've drawn blanks in each of those. Southampton losing against West Ham, who were superb in London last weekend, but. I think Southampton are going to bounce back from that defeat last week. Newcastle can't score. There's not going to be many goals in this one. I'm going to go for a narrow win to the Saints. I'm going to go for a 1-0 scoreline. Next up, we've got Wolves at home against Brighton. Now, since Bolly has come back into the side, I think it was about 5 games ago, Wolves have been looking a lot more solid at the back. Haven't lost in those 4 games as well. Brighton, okay, they were picking up a number of draws. They lost last week, of course, against Crystal Palace in that derby, as it's so called. I don't think they're going to get any change out of this Wolves team, who are looking really good going forward. Jota on fire now. Jimenez scoring for fun. I think Traore has dislocated his shoulder or something as well, so he's touch and go for this fixture.
But
that will be a bit
of
a blow. Yeah, it is. So he's 50-50 for this weekend. So we'll have to look, keep an eye on the injury news there. But I'm going for a straightforward 2-0 victory to Wolves in this one.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm going to go for 2-0 as well. I think they're going to dominate out of the park, and Brighton are just going to continue to fall off a cliff. Really need to turn it round.
Just 1 point off that relegation zone now.
1 point off the drop zone. Can't even remember the last time they won. They draw a lot, but they just can't win. So yeah, Wolves should overpower them and also try and push those maybe the Champions League spot. So 2-0. Moving on to the 5:30 kick-off on Saturday, we've got Burnley v Tottenham. Now Tottenham losing again last week, losing to Wolves 3-2. Traore on fire, Jota. Ooh, lovely stuff. Tottenham really need to start picking up some points now. Lost their last 2 matches. Coming up against a Burnley side as well. 9th place, looking fantastic. Haven't lost in over 6 matches. 4 of those wins. And I actually think there's going to be an upset here. Burnley going to win this one 1-0 at Turf Moor.
Yeah, Tottenham not going through the best of periods at the moment. Everything really, they rely so much on Son and Harry Kane as well. Defensive, they look all over the shop. I think Dyer's playing in the central of defence as well.
That's when you know you have issues.
Yeah, so I can't see Tottenham winning. However, in the reverse fixture, they absolutely dismantled Burnley earlier in the season 5-0. So I don't think Burnley are going to win this one. So I'm going to have to sit on the fence with this one. I think both teams will score, even though Burnley defensively have been very sound recently. So I'm going to go for a 1-1 scoreline in this match. Next up, we've got the first of the Sunday fixtures, and this is between Chelsea and Everton. Another very difficult game to call. Everton can find themselves very unlucky not to get victory against Manchester United.
It was absolutely absurd.
Well, there's a lot of debate that has gone on that that goal that wasn't last week, or it was disallowed for Richarlison sitting on the box. But we won't go into that too much because he was in an offside position, but is he deemed to be interfering in play? No, a lot of debate, but I don't think we'll go into it in this video. But Everton, they haven't won in London at all this season.
That's interesting.
So it's going to be very difficult for them. But Chelsea's form up and down. They had a great victory last night in the FA Cup, but I think they'll come back down to earth with a little bit of a bang. And I'm actually tipped the Toffees to win this one, especially after their performance against Manchester United last week. And I'm going to go for an away win to Everton, 2-1.
Interesting. I'm actually going to go for a draw in this one. I think Chelsea are going to pick up confidence after that FA Cup win last night, and I just think it'll be a stalemate. I think Everton will continue to struggle in London, so 1-1.
Tammy Abraham is still out as well, so Giroud will be leading the line again.
Leading the line, probably continuing to be lazy and not do anything.
It's his style.
It's not what he just goes to the scorpion kick every 5 minutes. He can't do any. He's lazy footballer. World Cup winner from missing every single shot in the tournament. Okay, so next up we have the Manchester derby. Man United versus Man City. Now Man United starting to climb the table a little bit, but the question is how long is that going to last for? And they're coming up against the Man City side. It was starting to pick up a little bit. I think Pep's probably seen that window now and thinking we could win the league if Liverpool majorly bottle it like 2013-14.
I don't think that's going to happen.
Probably won't happen, but you never know, so Pep will still want to push on for it. And the theory is, when Man City goes to Old Trafford, they always win, and when Man United goes to the Etihad, Man United always wins. That's what happens with the Manchester derby, and the pattern's going to continue, so 2-0 Man City. Yeah,
early in the season, of course, Manchester United won the reverse fixture, 2-1 at the Etihad, and I agree, I think Manchester City are going to seek revenge in this match. I think they will win. Fernandes for Manchester United, absolutely brilliant at the moment, so I think it's going to be a narrow victory to Manchester City. Probably Aguero will pop up as he's a big game player, and I think it's going to be 2-1 to the Citizens in this one. Next up, we got on Monday evening at 8 o'clock, Leicester City, the Foxes, against Aston Villa. Aston Villa on the end of a 2-1 scoreline against Man City in the Carabao Cup. Unlucky there, Villa. But Leicester, okay, they are in third position, haven't won in the last four fixtures. I think they will win this one now because I think Jamie Vardy will be back from his injury. They need to get they need to get back to those winning ways if they want to. Well, I think they will qualify for the Champions League this season. They should do it unless it's a total disaster. But
or Man United have to win everything.
This is a game that they'll be focusing on to win. I think Villa are going to have to pick up points as well. 3 defeats in the last 3 Premier League fixtures. They're in trouble. They're on 25 points at the moment, but a victory could take them out of the relegation zone as well. But I'm going to go for a victory to the Foxes in this one. I think there'll be plenty of goals. Villa are always leaking, or seem to be leaking. Leicester as well. They don't seem to be keeping the clean sheets recently either. So I'm going to go for a 5-goal thriller. I'm going for a home win to the Foxes, 3-2.
Yeah, I think Leicester will win as well, but I think it's going to be much narrower than that. I think I reckon it'll be 2-1. Probably cancel themselves out from the majority of the game, but Leicester do need to get back to those winning ways, especially. And I think they'll just nick it in the last minute. Probably put a substitution on, or Jamie Vardy will just run down the line as he always does and taps it in past Pepe Reina. So 2-1. And finally, we've got another fixture added. Thank you, Douglas James Hall, for pointing that out on Twitter. We have Man City versus Arsenal on Wednesday night at 7:30, I believe. Man City should win this one again. They're going to want to push the momentum. I think Arsenal, if they draw with West Ham, which I think they will, they're gonna drop confidence a bit, and Arsenal away is never really a pretty sight. So I'm gonna say 2-0 to Man City at the Etihad in their own place.
Yeah, I think I'm going to agree with you on this one, Nathan. I think Arsenal, as I touched on earlier, haven't lost this calendar year, which probably they'll lose against West Ham now. Me saying that after my performance last week, and I do apologise once again for that terrible week I had last week. But Manchester City at home against Arsenal, David Luiz at the back as a defender. There's going to be goals there for Manchester City, and I can see the citizens winning this one 3-1. But I think Arsenal will put up a good performance, but score-wise, it's going to be a comfortable victory for Manchester City. And Manchester City got a bit of a fixture pile-up now. I think they're in Champions League the following week, and obviously they'll have a match next Saturday, Sunday as well. So that concludes our predictions for week 29 of the 2019-2020 Premier League season. As usual, I'm going to leave a template of these fixtures in the description. If you'd like to play along at home, then please copy and paste them into your comment. And like the likes of David, Liverpool were in the Premier League this season, Matt, CFC Games, and Anthony Harris, you could get a shout out in the next video on Friday evening as well. I'm going to be picking somebody at random to represent you guys as well in our little league, and currently Nathan just 3 points behind me as well, and viewers
really
22 points behind me. No, 21 points, sorry, behind me at the moment. So it's all to play for in that. Now, before we go, Nathan, is there anything you'd like to add?
Yes, let's watch our link in the description below.
Excellent.
Lovely.
And any football news? Ipswich manager, perhaps?
Yeah, Ipswich manager sacked. Paul Lambert, everyone expected them to come away with record points this season.
Yeah, and they started off well.
No one expected them to go down from the Championship when, of course, Cardiff were there. They did start off well, dropped off like a stone at 6th position or something. I believe they're outside the playoffs now for League One. But what has happened to that club? I mean,
lost the last 3 games.
Yeah, lost the last 3 games in 9th position. Correct me. They did win the Europa League all those years ago. I think it's 20 years ago now, and they've just fallen from grace. I think they had a protest at their last home match against Fleetwood, where they were saying how the club's been underfunded and poorly run and all that, and the owners just don't care about them anymore. So, yeah, something needs to happen there.
Okay, maybe you could do a little video on that then, Nathan.
We could do indeed, because they basically turned into another Sunderland, Ipswich, but over a longer period of time, instead of just Sunderland getting double relegated and mid-table League One mediocrity with Lee Cattermole in the middle.
Very, very interesting. Oh, by the way, the Manchester City-Arsenal match, which takes place next Wednesday, probably won't be included in the scores for next week. That'll have to be carried over for next week, for the following week. So, yeah, that won't be included in our scores or yours for this coming week, but make your predictions all the same.
Yeah.
But once again, guys, thanks for watching. Remember to comment, subscribe and all that jazz, and we'll see you in the next video.